Once upon a time, there was a boy named Hansel and a girl named Grittel. They were brother and sister. They lived with their father, who was a poor woodcutter, and their stepmother in a small house next to the forest. Their family had very little food to eat. One day their stepmother said to the father, "We don't have enough food to survive. We must take the children into the forest and leave them there. Then we will have enough food for ourselves." The father was very sad and said, "No, I cannot leave my children alone." But the stepmother kept insisting until the father finally agreed. Hansel and Gretel overheard the plan. Gretel started crying, but Hansel hugged her and said, "Don't worry, I have a plan." That night, Hansel went outside and picked up small white stones from the ground. He put them in his pocket and went back to bed. Early the next morning, the stepmother woke the children. "We are going to the forest to collect wood," she said. She gave them each a small piece of bread. "This is for lunch. Don't eat it yet," she told them. As they walked into the forest, Hansel dropped the white stones along the way, one by one, so they made a trail. When they reached the middle of the forest, the stepmother said, "Stay here and rest while your father and I gather wood." The children sat and waited, but the stepmother and father did not come back. The night was dark and scary. Grittel cried, "We're lost! How will we find our way home?" Hansel smiled and said, "Don't cry. I left a trail of white stones. We can follow them back home." The moonlight shone brightly, and the stones sparkled. Hansel and Gretel followed the trail all the way back to their house. When their father saw them, he was very happy. But their stepmother was not. She was angry and decided to try again. A few days later, the stepmother told the father, "This time we will go deeper into the forest. The children won't find their way home." The father didn't want to, but agreed once again. That night, Hansel tried to go outside to collect more stones, but the door was locked. He couldn't get out. In the morning, the stepmother woke them again and gave them another small piece of bread. This time, Hansel didn't have stones, so he broke his bread into tiny pieces and dropped them along the way. They went farther into the forest this time. Just like before, the stepmother and father walked away and didn't return. As soon as they were alone, Grittel said, "Hansel, how will we get home this time?" Hansel said, "Don't worry, I left breadcrumbs instead of stones. We'll follow them." But when they looked for the breadcrumbs, they were gone. The birds had eaten them all. Grittel began to cry again. "What will we do now?" she asked. Hansel was scared too, but he said, "We'll find a way, Grittel. Let's walk and see if we can find a house." They walked and walked deeper into the forest. Finally, they saw a little house. It was not an ordinary house. It was made of candy and cookies. The walls were chocolate, the roof was sugar, and the windows were clear candy. The children were so hungry that they ran to the house and started eating it. Suddenly, the door opened and an old woman came out. She smiled at them and said, "Oh, you poor children, come inside and I will give you a meal." Hansel and Gretel were scared, but they were also hungry. They followed the old woman into the house. But the old woman was not kind. She was a witch. She captured Hansel and locked him in a cage. "I will fatten you up," she said. "When you are big enough, I will cook you into my oven and eat you." She made Grittel her servant and forced her to cook and clean. Every day, The witch checked Hansel to see if he was fat. But Hansel was clever. Instead of giving her his finger to feel, he gave her a small bone he had found in the cage. One day the witch got tired of waiting. "I will eat you now, fat or not," she shouted. She told Grittel, "Light the oven and check if it's hot enough." But Grittel was clever too. She said, "I don't know how. Can you show me?" The witch yelled, "You stupid girl! Fine, I'll do it myself." She opened the oven and leaned inside. At that moment, Grittel pushed her in and slammed the door. The witch screamed, but Grittel didn't let her out. Grittel freed Hansel from the cage, and they searched the house. They found gold and jewels inside. "Let's take this home to father," Hansel said. They filled their pockets and left the candy house. They walked and walked until they finally found their way back home. Their father was overjoyed to see them. He told them that their stepmother had left and would never return. With the gold and jewels, Hansel, Grittel, and their father lived happily and never went hungry again.